In the quiet hills of Bethlehem, a young shepherd named David sat among his flock. With a wooden harp in his hands, he played melodies of worship, his heart fully devoted to the Lord. David was not only a musician but also a protector. When a lion crept toward his flock, he stood his ground, trusting in the Lord's strength. As David played his harp under the stars, he found strength in the Lord, never imagining the great destiny that awaited him. But while David was alone in the fields, a great event was happening in Bethlehem. The prophet Samuel had arrived, and David's life was about to change forever. The Lord had rejected King Saul, and he sent the prophet Samuel on a mission. In the small town of Bethlehem, Samuel arrived at the house of Jesse, seeking the one chosen by God to be Israel's next king. Jesse's 7 sons stood before Samuel, tall, strong, and noble in appearance. But as Samuel examined them, the Lord whispered, "Do not look at their height or appearance, for I have rejected them. The Lord looks at the heart." Samuel shook his head. "Are these all your sons?" Jesse hesitated before replying, "There is still the youngest, but he is tending the sheep." Jesse called for David, and soon the young shepherd entered the room. His clothes were simple, his hands rough from tending the sheep. But as Samuel looked into his eyes, he knew this was the one. Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed David in the presence of his brothers. As the oil flowed over his head, the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him, and his destiny was sealed. As the oil anointed David, the Spirit of the Lord filled him. In that moment, his life was forever changed. He was no longer just a shepherd. He was chosen to be king. After the Spirit of the Lord left King Saul, a troubling spirit began to torment him. His servants, seeing his distress, sought someone who could play music to bring him peace. One of Saul's servants spoke up, "I know a young man, the son of Jesse. He is skillful in playing the harp, a brave warrior, and the Lord is with him." King Saul sent for David, and Jesse, his father, sent him with gifts of bread and wine. When David arrived at the palace, he bowed humbly before the king. David took his harp and played for the king. As the music filled the room, the troubled spirit left Saul, and peace came over him. King Saul was pleased with David and made him his armor-bearer. From that day forward, David remained in Saul's service,